Hey guys, I just did one of those again. I did about 30-40 minute conversation on Lamentations Chapter 3, and it dumped me. That's how it works. There's 63 of those things, and there's a lot of it going on. But I can tell you, I'd rather just surmise it. As the stories are being told to us in Lamentations, is that when you read number 3, you can say, I could just read it to you as you would be the author. And the idea is that I am the one that's afflicted. I'm the one that's been brought down low. I'm the one that's been missed because of this. That's what 3 is representing. We were delivered into captivity. And so, and if you're not being brought into the free zone, into being free with God, then you become captive. And that's basically the situation of Jerusalem. And the whole idea that this Zion, when they use the word Zion, Zion is about returning home. It's returning home is by going within. And the stories and the way the Bible is written is that nobody does the commandments. Nobody. How is it that I can come and find no one worshiping mother and father, trying to get their two brains together? Why? Because the outside bitch, that we run around with father has everything sewn up so tight. And so when we think about being sewn up so tight, this is the idea that we're just getting overwatered, In the stories where, God gives both good and evil, he's pointing to this particular part, our emotions. He's in charge of whether or not you believe this thing or not. He brings on the evil and brings on the good. He's bringing on hell first and then bringing us to heaven later. But, with the dissecting that we've been doing with the Bible, there's a whole lot more people that are being tossed into the furnace than are being, let free. All right. It seems to be a direction of things, even like AA, when you go to AA, I say it captures more souls than it sets free, That's true. Very much, very true. But in these situations, these are really long. This is telling us that they went through a ring of things. This went through. Well, what I've learned is that 9 stands all by itself before the world start doing it again. But 9, you can always go and read the numbers on 9 to find out whether or not what part of the consciousness are we under. All right, and it also winds up on 8, a control number, and which means to fix. It's fixed, And in this situation, I can just read the last 2 pieces of this, Well, let's read more than that. All right, because this is Lamentations. There's a reason for you to cry. There's a reason for you not to be very happy. And we get this idea of wormwood in this particular part, wormwood and the gall. All right, this is number 19. Number 19 is about the body. It's the person himself. Wormwood is the mind, and gall is this. Gall is the cause for all our trouble. Have you ever heard of that? He has no gall. All right, and the wormwood is about the body part. Make yourself gopher wood, or something like that, an ark of gopher wood. But the idea is our body has always been looked at as a tree in some symbolism, some forms of symbolism. That all it's really showing is that if they were talking about a human being, they would say that he has halts or he has leprosy. Leprosy means he has a disease that he cannot take care of with his own hands. And that's what that means. And so on this particular situation, we have Well, it's a wonderful story. You can read all the way through it, but it's talking basically about it is me that's been brought into this, and it's been me that does this, and then and at the same time, it's talking about God doing this. God did this to you. God did that to you. But down here gets to where you get to be remembered a little bit. It starts to say, "Oh, but in that one day that you come and listen to me down, I have been locked up down here." I think this is number 45. You said, that I've been gone. I went to sleep. The water came over my head. I'm not sure what happened here, but the idea is that uh, get them, take them. I was done all these situations. Here, let's go to this. Let's go down to the bottom half of this real quick. If you ever want to know what the hell's going on, you just go read the end of it first. So the last two pieces of it are, oh, shit. The last two pieces of this are, give them sorrow of heart, which is a hardened heart. Thy curse is unto them. Persecute and destroy them in anger from under the heavens of the Lord. This is the idea that this is going to be fixed. Destroy, fix this, get rid of them now before the Lord. But in numbers, for the last one in number 7, are the Lord's day, which would be 61, 62, 63, and 64. This is what happens on those last 4. Let's see here. How's it go? We're starting off with 61. Thou hast heard their reproach, O Lord, and all their imaginations against it. The lips of those that rose up against me, and their device against me, all the day. This is number 62, is representing religion. The device is the Bible and the Word. All right. Number 62. And they talk about rising up against them because there were giants in those days. And it says here, behold, they're sitting. So the lips of those that rose against me and their devices against me all the day, behold, they're sitting down and rising up, and I'm their music. Render unto them a recompense, Lord, according to the works of their hands. All right, so this is going to be the last one on this 6. It says, give to them. But he's really talking about, and this is in the spot where he's talking about this one and this one. The reason, his father and this moon, this idea of the other woman. All right, she's the reason for all of this. Okay, because here he goes. Water flowed. Here's how it works. Mine enemies chase me sore like a bird without a cause. This is number 52. This is the end of something. So my enemy, mankind chases you around because this idea of chomping on each other and ripping each other apart and chewing on each other, using each other, hating on each other and stuff like that. This is, I've been delivered into the hand of my oppressors. That's how you can say that. It says, mine enemies chase me sore like a bird without a cause. All right. They have cut off my life in the dungeon and cast a stone upon me. Waters flowed over mine head. And then I said, I am cut off. I called upon thy name, O Lord, out of the low dungeon. Thou hast heard my voice. Hide not my ear from my breathing or my cry. Thou drawest near in the day that I called upon thee. Thou saidst, fear not. O Lord, thou hast pleaded the cause of my soul. Thou hast redeemed my life. O Lord, thou hast seen my wrong, judged my cause. Thou hast seen all their vengeance and all their imaginations against me. Thou hast heard their reproach, O Lord, and all their imaginations against me. They They had to say that twice, 60 and 61. 60 is, thou hast seen this and thou hast heard. But we had to start all over again. Now here. Now it starts out again, 61. It says, thou hast heard their reproach, O Lord, and all their imaginations against me. The lips of those that rose up against me, their device against me all the day. Behold, now they're rising up. They're sitting down and rising up. I am their music. It's just beautiful. This number 63, talking about the person himself. Number 64 on the end, render unto them recompense, O Lord, according to the works of their hands. Now, what happens is that he's telling, Lord, you become the judge in this situation. It's your soul is going up in this situation. And so this is his soul. He's going up there and he's talking about it. It's my soul. It's my place. It's my situation. It's me that's been left out. And so, like in all these stories, or most of them, or a good number of the stories, we have like Joseph having the dream of his brothers and his mother and father bowing down before him. So behold, they're sitting down and rising up. I am their music. They're doing it to his want and his need. And this is the idea of bearing the yoke in your younger age, is that, before you get to, get some control over yourself. So anyways, there is wonderful things that can happen to us. But once he finally gets to this spot over here, we don't get a Lord's Day. We don't get that. All right. This is what the thing was of the Lord's Day. Is what you would get is when you go into the Lord's Day, when you go into meditation and you bring up your two other guys. Remember, there's always three. It's going to be your mind. It's going to be your thoughts, which is your emotions, and you. And you're the one, he says, oh, Lord, take it, get them for their business. Get them for what they gave us, pay them back. And, of course, we know that that's not a bad thing, that it's a good thing. And so whenever that's the footstool that we hear about that God does not remember when it's over with, he doesn't want that footstool to come back up anymore. He doesn't have to rely on it as a footstool anymore because it no longer exists. That's what happens when you can grow up and eliminate the lower mind, because you have cut yourself, you've circumcised yourself from this part. So I don't really need to go into this. You can go and read up on this yourself if it's important. We'll wait to see if there's something interesting in the next chapter of this. Chapter 4 is going to be about how do we go about changing things? What is going on? Because 4, what do we do? Where do we go about this? So that should show up in 4, all right? Worlds, the idea of traveling and stuff like that. This is travail. We've learned about the Woodward, the idea that we are sick. We got something wrong with us when we don't have Mother around. When Mother is here, she waters us, and she got our souls. Everybody's all together, Father, Son, and the little Holy Ghost. Everybody together. But when we have the male or the female father and the whore running around, this kind of watering spoils the seed, and the soil. The seed never sprouts, which means it's the male on male thing. It's the homosexual thing, because two homosexual energies cannot bring the little baby, our little seed, to life. So, and without this child, then you're not allowed to go up into heaven. So you won't be able to connect with Jesus or the Holy Ghost ever. You have to have this child to do that. All right? And right here, he's been taken away. This idea that, instead of just saying her, well, they do. The idea is without her, there's none of the children get fed. You don't get the right things. You go thirsty and restless. And it's just your gnashing of the teeth and all this stuff. This is where you're at. This is where you're at right now. This is Lamentations. It's not what's to come. It's what's here now. What's to come is more beautiful. All right? Anyways, I hope you got something out of this. Let's see if this worked.